Hi. I'm your goddess Nazca. It's Trucker Man. We're watching.
Darkest videos number 7, and it's snowing, and let's end it on a dark video.
Some twisted, fucked up shit.
Topics include... Oh.
Suicidal, when you say it's over.
It's December 4th, 2003.
I'm scared. I don't want you.
I'm gonna go try to get them to stop doing that.
A police officer walking in a local park in Arlington, Virginia, is approached by a concerned family, claiming that someone in a nearby neighborhood had been shooting off a flare gun. The officer could hear it too, and following the sound, he eventually found himself at the home of 56-year-old James Yoo. The man lived alone in his half of this duplex, and was described by neighbors as a recluse known to exhibit unusual behavior.
Oh fuck, it's us.
It's us? Well, we're not shooting flares at people, so I think we're safe.
I talk about the recluse part. Oh no, we're gonna be crazies. Oh, what is this guy doing?
Across his social media, he made posts claiming that he was the victim of fraud at the hands of all sorts of government agencies, as he had a deep distrust of the US government as well as...
You should have got a hold of USA ID.
I love how we end up doing this, where our fucking videos somehow link to each other, just out of coincidence. Out of pure fucking coincidence. We don't plan this. We've never seen these videos before.
Law enforcement, and he believed that numerous people were attempting to kill him, like his ex-wife, the FBI, and even his neighbors. His posts seemed entirely nonsensical, and so did many of his actions. In the months
Okay, so he needs to go to a local church therapist then.
Or find some pills or something.
This is extreme paranoia.
prior, he had covered up all of his windows with garbage bags and aluminum foil, and he even wrapped his trees in toilet paper. And though these actions are entirely harmless,
to be fair, we do put foil on our windows because we work nights and I don't want the sunlight coming in.
No. I need to know why he's TPing his own, trees.
That part I couldn't tell you.
on this day, things were becoming far more troubling. When police arrived at his home, Yoo would be seen firing his flare gun out of his window and into the air, over and over again, and despite repeated attempts to get him to stop,
Arlington County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yoo!
Is he trying to signal the aliens?
Maybe. It was a sign for help.
Oh yeah, trying to... But they're there, but... Oh, maybe it's not the help that he wanted.
he didn't let up, shooting 41 flares in the span of just 25 minutes. And he did it all with no explanation. In fact, he didn't even say a single word.
Is that a form of schizophrenia?
Probably.
Understandably, police were eager to get Yoo out of his home for questioning, as at this point it wasn't obvious whether or not he was a threat. And so for hours and hours they called out to him, first asking and then demanding that he exit his home.
James.
The fact that he had the whereabout to put,
Maybe, yeah.
the fact that he had the whereabout to put Christmas decorations out.
No, it's a duplex. It's his neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Come to the front door with your hands up.
Yeah, it's a duplex, so it's... You're living next to that.
I feel sorry for his neighbors. Oh, no.
Do it now. We have your building surrounded.
But still, there was no response. Growing impatient and worried that Yoo might be planning something, the police would eventually bring in a specialized vehicle to bust down the door and spray the inside of the home with gas.
Oh no, the poor people who would live next to him!
This is we're done fucking around now. We're coming in.
See, aren't you glad I talked you into not getting a fucking duplex as our house? Are
Yeah.
you not glad?
I don't think we ever looked at a duplex.
Yes, we did.
And I turned it down because, like I said...
Because I told you, yeah, no, we're not living next to someone. No. Apartments are different. A house connected to each other is stupid.
In an attempt to draw Yoo outside,
James, stay away from your front door.
My house!
Stay away from your front door, James.
My house! My half of my house! Oh no, my half of my house!
I just like the contrast of this super dark, Like, everything's taped over and next to Santa. Next to, like,
Snowman. All the Christmas decorations.
And in response, Yoo began firing once again. Only this time, he wasn't using flares.
Oh, he had a gun too!
And instead, he was now yielding an actual gun. Thankfully, none of these shots connected, but with the situation becoming increasingly dangerous, the officers decided to fall back, as they carefully came up with a new plan for apprehending Yoo. Though whatever they had been planning would never come to fruition.
Oh, he took the easy way out.
Well, doesn't that kind of end the story quick? Or is he telling... Oh, he's telling multiple stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
They're half of my house!
You mean...
I hope the neighbors were not home! Oh my gosh!
Holy... What?
I hope no one was home on the other side.
No, they were gone.
Well, I would... Okay,
House.
I would seriously hope that if the police were gonna do the rammings thing, they probably would have told the people if they were home to be like, no, get out.
They were already told to probably get out. I guarantee you.
Okay, but now, don't get a duplex. You don't know if you're gonna live next to crazy.
Think about that. You were living next to that. You didn't even, like, you thought he was just a weird guy. You didn't realize he had homemade explosives next to your wall.
The way the house fell apart, too. That was some damn powerful explosives.
In a split second, the home was gone, as a massive explosion rang out from inside the house, reducing the entire structure to rubble. Inside the house, Yoo had stored 55 gallons of gasoline in his basement, which he saved for that moment to ignite with no warning and no explanation. Based on the footage, it's been theorized that Yoo's actions were an attempt to lure police into his home so that he could then set off this explosion and take them all out along with his neighbors, as he genuinely believed—
What? So he was trying to homicide. Huh.
Oh my god.
Wow.
that both parties were conspiring to kill him. Though somehow, when the smoke cleared—
Your logic is, I'm gonna kill them before they kill me, and I'm gonna still kill me, so they can't kill me.
And you took out your neighbors, too, for no reason.
No, he thought that they were conspiring against him, too.
Yeah.
He said that, but the fact that his paranoia was, they're gonna kill me, so I'm gonna kill me first and take them with me, that was his, wow.
Here's another question.
Wow.
For the neighbors, do you have homeowners insurance?
Oh, God.
You have to explain that one to them.
Oh, well, when you're crazy, I guess logic is the last thing on your mind. Oh, wow.
no civilians or police officers had so much as been injured. All that was found in the rubble was the remnants of a single body. Though for a moment, this wasn't the end of James Yoo's story. Before that body could be identified, reports across social media began emerging showing that James Yoo was somehow still alive.
What?
Hey, there you go, Loco Corona. Apparently he survived. They just said it. Good prediction on you, man.
Though for a moment, this wasn't the end of James Yoo's story. Before that body could be identified, reports across social media began emerging showing that James Yoo was somehow still alive. After the blast, comments were being made on what appeared to be Yoo's YouTube channel, where he stated that this whole thing was a cover-up and that he wasn't even inside the home when the standoff started, which, looking back, we never actually see him, and we also never hear his voice.
Who is shooting the... I'm confused and scared now.
Unless he
What kind of crazy
How?
3D
I was
chest.
How? I was joking.
This post
joke
pointing
is
out this
real.
development would go viral and cause mass confusion about the story, which was only heightened when it was revealed that the body inside that building was in fact James Yoo. Though in the end, it
Ghost?
wasn't really as mysterious as some originally thought. As it turns out, the post showing these comments failed to realize that this wasn't actually Yoo's account, and instead it had a completely different username, with the account likely having been created as nothing more than a hoax. To this day though, there are some that still believe that this was all some sort of massive cover-up, but in reality it just seems that this was the result of a man gripped by crippling paranoia and loneliness, with it all coming to a head in what has gone on to become one of YouTube's darkest videos.
What now?
The internet is a
Hey,
dark
it's
and
your
disturbing
favorite, an
frontier.
eyeball.
This year alone, countless people have fallen victim to high-profile data breaches, raising serious concern about personal information security. Ticketmaster experienced a breach compromising over
Chapter 2. What was are we going? Dreamscape 2006.
There was really nothing else like it. This obscure 27,000 square foot structure allowed visitors to enter into what must have felt like another dimension. It was an exhibit called Dreamspace, and was the creation of British artist Maurice Agus, a 74-year-old artistic visionary obsessed with the
No. He looks crazy.
To be fair, most British of his age have fucked up teeth, so...
No, it's not just the teeth, man. He has that crazy look in his eye.
Well, he's a creative genius? A crazy genius?
Do I look crazy?
No.
Okay.
idea
young
of
point.
creating large-scale surreal environments, and this was his magnum opus. The structure was inflatable, akin to a massive bounce house, and once inside, guests were confronted with a labyrinth of brightly colored walls and cells, twisting and turning into some sort of
Someone should have took some LSD and ran in there.
Oh, that
Oh.
Dude. That reminds me of the Ripley's Believe It or Not twisty room. That
Oh, yeah, you go down the twisty tunnel and you couldn't do it.
it made me want to throw up. This would probably make me want to throw up.
surreal maze that patrons were told to lose themselves in. This piece of art premiered back in 2004, and due to its inflatability, it was actually built to travel, making stops in major cities in the UK, before it was eventually set up at Riverside Park in Durham on the 22nd of June, 2006. The very next day, 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins would visit the area with her husband and her daughter, as well as her 14-year-old grandson. And spotting this unusual structure in the distance, Elizabeth's grandson insisted on checking it out, excitedly taking off his shoes and running inside. And while the rest of the group was more apprehensive about entering, Elizabeth...
Question.
Answer.
Did you not have to pay to enter? Were they just free to go in as they pleased?
I don't think that's the problem we're talking about.
I know, but I'm saying, would you want to go into something that you didn't have to pay for? I feel like it'd be there's something. It's suspicious. It's suspicious, okay?
eventually decided to accompany him, leaving her husband and daughter on the outside, though not before turning back to them and joking that she was going in to find peace and serenity.
What?
Outside, Elizabeth's husband and daughter sat at a nearby table and enjoyed a cup of tea whilst conversing about the events of the week, only for the man to turn his head and notice that Dreamspace was slightly moving, to which he excitedly said, "Oh, it's a ride, it's a ride. I wish I had gone on it." The daughter then turned her head to see the structure as it began to rise up off the ground, to which she chillingly responded,
Oh god, is it a windy day?
Oh, the wind caught it. So not only are you lost in this weird, surreal bullshit, but now the wind's picking up and throwing your ass across the...
Oh, that is a horrible way to die. No.
Oh.
No. Oh god.
"It's not a ride."
Yep, it's the wind. Maybe a micro downburst or something.
I would say that's a very powerful wind, but at the same time, the way it's structured, it's like a giant piece of bubble wrap.
By the way, look how... This
It's
is
a tiny, yeah.
compared to how big this thing is.
did they not tie it down? Yeah, like, yeah, good point. Good freaking point.
Well, look how big it is. Regardless of how many tie downs you got, if you get good enough guts, it's gonna rip it up.
Well, I mean, the way it's structured too. Like I said, it's giant bubble wrap. Oh, smooshish.
And someone's probably in there and they...
Oh.
In that moment, Dreamspace had snapped from its moorings and was blown into the air.
So it was tied down. So they did tie it down, but it snapped. It was a very windy day.
Agus just so happened to be standing at the entrance as it began to shift, and noticing what was happening, he grabbed on as he desperately tried to hold down his entire life's work.
No!
No,
You can't! No! That's a bad idea, man!
But yeah.
Wind too powerful, yeah.
Yeah, we live in the Midwest. We know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, this was of no use, and after being lifted in the air, his grip failed, sending him falling back to the ground below where he lay staring up at his creation that was now flying 30 feet above him.
I'm gonna be a little morbid here, but it is kind of funny. I'm trying not to think of the people that are getting killed in there, but at the same time, that I'm sorry, I'm a morbid. I find morbid humor to be funny. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at the people getting killed, but I don't know why, but that's kind of funny.
Inside, there were as many as 30 people who were now being thrashed around this giant inflatable structure in a scene that I truly can't even imagine. The claustrophobia of it, the dizzying colors, the screams. It's genuinely one of the most horrific scenarios I've ever heard. The inflatable structure was airborne for well over a minute, folding into itself before finally crashing back down into a parking lot, leaving behind what was described by witnesses as a field of bodies. Worst of all, the majority of those in attendance were families with small children, with one 7-year-old girl recounting her experience, saying, "It was very scary and people were screaming. I saw a lady clinging on and then falling out, and then she was lying on her back with people around her. I think she died." This lady was most likely 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins, who had been ejected from the structure when it was in the air, with her injuries being catastrophic and unsurvivable. Of all the others now sprawled throughout this field of grass, most were left injured but thankfully not in serious condition, though this wasn't the case for 38-year-old Claire from Edge, who had been inside during the accident with her 2 children, and despite her kids surviving, she was sadly not so lucky, with Claire and Elizabeth being the sole fatalities of the incident.
That has to be one of the worst ways to die. You're trying... Anytime when it's like peaceful and you... damn it, it's... oh gosh.
The video is terrifying, and though it's easy to say that this could have been so much worse, considering how many people were in Dreamspace at the time, the consequences were still catastrophic, as it devastated 2 families, and likely left many others at the scene traumatized for life, especially the young children. But how could this have happened? Well, that day was particularly warm, which likely caused the air inside the structure to expand, causing a hot air balloon-like effect, which was then exacerbated by sudden strong gusts of wind, which eventually caused the structure to go airborne, as in the end, it just wasn't properly secured for the conditions.
They didn't have enough secures on
I guarantee
it.
that artist got sued into the ground.
Oof.
Soon after the incident, Maurice Agus was arrested for manslaughter, though he would ultimately only end up paying a small fine, as he vowed to never create a large work again. Just a few years later in 2009, Maurice Agus would pass away, with his legacy forever being defined by this devastating footage.
Oh, that sucks. You try to make something to make people happy, and then it unwittingly becomes something that kills people.
Yeah.
He had no... that's depressing. He had no intention of doing any ill will or anything, despite me saying it looked creepy. I'm sorry now. But, yeah. All the kids are like, no, bouncy house at my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena.
There you go, Loco, you're calling
On
it
October
again.
2nd, 2006, police entered the home of 31-year-old Elaine Campione, where inside they found the woman speaking incoherently. Next to her was a VHS camera, depicting a series of disturbing events that had transpired within the home over the previous months and days, with the footage eventually finding its way onto YouTube.
Oh god.
Hi, Serena. It's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
The tape starts with Elaine pointing her new camera at her daughter Serena. It was her 3rd birthday, and to celebrate, Elaine had left a brand new bike in the living room.
What is
I'm scared when it involves kids and it's starting out so wholesome.
Yeah, but...
it?
It's a bike.
Days later, the footage continues, showing Serena once again as Elaine asks,
How does much does Mama love you?
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that. How much does Mama love you?
Elaine then shows her other daughter Sophia, who was just a baby, before turning the camera on herself and showing the kids how the device worked.
Hi. See how the camcorder works? Look.
Yeah, it's the farmers.
Look. Hi.
I know it's not gonna go like this, but this is making me think of that one episode of Dan to Dan. I know it's not gonna end up.
I'm trying to look at those eyes. I'm trying to look at the eyes. That's when you tell someone's truly crazy.
Is that Mommy? Hi.
So far, the footage seems like nothing more than your standard family home videotape, and appears completely wholesome. Though with the next recording, the tone begins to shift, and things start to become slightly concerning.
This is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah.
Our house.
I want to say something. I noticed there's not a daddy.
I was gonna say, our house looks worse than that. And if that's a mess, dear God.
No, I want to know where's daddy.
I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins, the same as Leonardo.
As Elaine shows the camera her
What?
home, she begins joking about how they are living in deplorable conditions, before randomly calling out 2 men who she says she hopes burn in hell, all while her children are in the same room. She starts to grow more and more agitated.
All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and then the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse.
Outright saying that she was abused by a man named Leonard Campione, who happened to
And she's recording this. This is well, YouTube was around 2006, but social media wasn't what it is now. This was done in 2006.
And then she probably didn't. Well, she had. It seems like she doesn't have like a parent or a friend or anyone to go to, and she probably was too scared to go to police or something. But where is he now, I wonder?
Well, let's go with the story, because how come they have a picture of this guy?
be her ex-husband and the father of these children. And she goes on from there, with each moment clearly making the kids more and more anxious.
I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me.
Eventually causing Elaine to snap out of it and stop the camera.
And my poor 3-year-old, I did everything to protect. And what are you saying, Sophia? What do you want?
The video then skips forward once more, with this footage being taken just days before the police were called, showing Serena coloring on the floor as Elaine asks,
Who loves ya?
Mommy.
Who loves you the most? That much? Oh, I think I love you more than that.
The scene that unfolds next was recorded on that very same night, just hours later.
Oh God.
recording this because Leo there.
I'm
She
just the level of abuse this guy did to her.
allegedly. We have to say it.
Dude, I wouldn't even say allegedly looking at her, okay? Because there is something. Because obviously he's not in the picture anymore. It shows that. So he left her for whatever reason, or she left him. Probably he left her, if anything. I don't know. I don't know all the details, but obviously she's in a lot of pain. There's something going on with her mentally. So, yeah.
She's losing her mind. Poor lady. Yeah.
Everything's gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You care about yourself. All you did was hurt us.
In the video, Elaine states that everything is gone, as she speaks to Leo directly, accusing him of having ruined their lives with his constant abuse.
You are truly the devil. And I hate you. 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 And I want you to know how much I hate you.
Disturbingly, the children were nowhere to be seen in this footage, with Elaine eventually addressing them by saying,
God believes me. And God's taking care of them now. They're protected by God. Thank God. Thank Him.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they know where we're going with this.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Because there's no way I could have them with you. Nothing's good enough for you. It has to always be your way. Well, they're good. And you can have it your way. Your wife and your daughters are dead now. We're all in heaven.
according to Elaine, not only were her children gone, but she was too. She stops the
Damn it, Loco!
God damn it. Alright, we need that.
Do it.
God damn it. You're bad, gone. Bad, gone forever. That's fucked up.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Damn it.
recording soon after. Despite saying this, the camera would actually start up one more time, where Elaine describes how she was still alive, despite having attempted to OD, which prompted her to call the police. When officers arrived at the home, both Serena and Sophia were found laying in her mother's bed, holding hands, and wrapped tightly in rosaries. Neither of them were alive. 2 nights prior, and directly before filming this message, Elaine had brought them both into the bathroom, as it was time for their nightly baths. And once in the tub, she told them to play a game, one where they would place their heads beneath the water and blow out bubbles. When they did this, Elaine held their heads down, and she didn't let go until she was certain they were gone.
Well, that is a cruel way to kill your children. You know what the sad thing is?
What?
Despite her mental faculties, I think it's easier for someone to kill someone else versus taking your own life. That's why she couldn't finish what she started.
This footage is some of the most disturbing that I've ever seen, as we get a glimpse into Elaine's descent into madness in the moments directly before she stole her children's lives. But all of this leaves one obvious question. Why? Well, it was noted during her investigation that the abuse she alleged from her ex-husband Leo seemed to be very real and well documented over the years, leading to Leo not being able to see his children for over a year, with this causing the two to separate, which is when Elaine's mind began to deteriorate. She began believing that people were following her and were going to kill her, with this fear of people eventually shifting to a fear of aliens, as she claimed to have seen them on numerous occasions, believing they were following her. Because of this fear,
E.T. does not want to go home, okay?
Okay, I will say, definitely, I don't know what this guy probably did to her, but she definitely probably already had her own mental issues beforehand.
Yeah. We could have hooked her up with the guy that blew up his house in the first video.
Really?
I had to. I'm sorry I'm laughing at it, but we gotta laugh at
Oh.
She refused to let her children out of her sight, not even allowing her own parents to look after them, causing her to become so attached to these children that she genuinely began to believe that they were all one entity, which made things incredibly concerning when she became suicidal and eventually attempted to take her own life. Despite Leo's more than troubled history, he had supposedly turned his life around in the years leading to this footage, and was eventually allowed to start visiting the children on a limited capacity. And seeing the children and seeing the way their mother was behaving, he began to grow incredibly concerned, and eventually attempted to gain full custody. And it was this bitter custody battle that seemed to be the ultimate factor that led to Elaine ending the lives of her children.
God's taking care of us now. He's protected by God, thank God. Thank Him. Because there's no way I could have them with you.
Elaine Campione would be charged with 2 counts of murder and would eventually be sentenced to life in prison, with a possibility of parole after 25 years. Today, she's held.
I don't. Okay. When you talk about, wouldn't you say this would be an example of a mental issue?
Oh, yeah.
Why is she being put in prison? She should be put in a mental asylum, right? Wouldn't this be an example of that?
But the fact that she took the 2 little kids' lives in the story, I mean, to me, regardless of what you think, I don't think you can be rehabilitated at that point. You gotta live with that the rest of your life.
But I'm saying she needs mental help. She didn't kill the kids out of maliciousness.
She still killed them.
I know, but I'm saying she didn't do it maliciously like, well, I guess everyone need mental help at that point. But I'm saying, Ita could have gotten a hotter woman. Damn it, let go. But I'm saying, wouldn't this be a case, like, what qualifies you to go to a mental asylum versus prison? What is the qualifications here? Because this feels like she should be in a mental asylum.
She shouldn't have gone there before she killed the kids, though. That's the problem.
Held in a minimum security prison, where she's free to leave once every weekend to attend church and other functions.
Not saying what she did was right or anything. I'm just saying. I feel like it should be a mental.
James Collins road rage.
Huh. Oh, God.
On April 18th, 2010, a 39-year-old man named Gavin Collins was released.
That's a man? That looked like a demon if I've ever seen one.
Man, that low quality.
Woof. Some prisons have mental health administration. Yeah, she definitely needs that.
From the HMP Ranby prison in the UK, his freedom would last less than 24 hours, as the very next day he suffered a severe mental breakdown, the result of which was captured partially across several video recordings that later appeared on YouTube. This is the story of his rampage.
Are you sure this is even a real, no, are you sure that was even a real person? That looked like some AI generated horror shit.
He's catching all these videos on like a Nokia phone from the 2000s, I swear.
Woofa.
It began at approximately 9 a.m. in the city of Nottinghamshire when Gavin left his home. As he walked down the sidewalk, those in the area reported him acting strangely, muttering to himself that he was Jesus and that he was invincible. Without warning, he then turned his attention to a random home, which he forcefully entered, stole a man's car keys, and took his vehicle, taking off with no apparent destination.
I'm gonna say this. He's not cosplaying right.
What?
He says he's Jesus. Dude, remember the fucking Jesus cosplay we see at conventions?
Inside the car, the owner just so happened to have 2 cameras, one being a standard dash cam and the other facing inside the vehicle, giving us a look at Gavin and his apparent mental state.
Okay.
You are the weirdest skinhead looking Jesus.
Alright.
Come on, let's go, bro. Talk, get rid of all the crap pairs. Let's go! Let's go!
He looks like the one guy from Fury Road.
Oh,
They turned to a good guy towards the end.
I don't think he's turning into a good guy towards the end.
Just at a glance, it's obvious that Gavin is completely unhinged. For some
Yeah,
reason,
you
he was
look-
utterly filled with rage, ripping off the rearview mirror and yelling obscenities and incomprehensible threats at no one in particular.
That's a demon?
I'm
He's
Jesus,
a demon?
I'm descendant of God. and you lock me up! Watch this, you.
And most concerning of all is the speed in which he's traveling, as he starts driving faster and faster, swerving in and out of cars as he passes through busy residential areas, as he reaches speeds that have been estimated to be anywhere from 85 miles an hour to well over 120.
Watch this now! I'm getting stronger and stronger by the second! Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
But somehow, despite countless close calls, every time he avoids collision. At least for the time being.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oof.
In an instant, Gavin smashes the vehicle into a brick home at full speed,
Into a home?
with the impact being devastating. And yet somehow, through the destruction, Gavin was not only still alive, but completely unharmed, and also completely unfazed. He pulled himself.
Oh. Yeah, demon face. Okay. I know there's a thing where people, when you're drunk driving, when you're drunk, you can survive.
Because you don't tense up. But he's not drunk.
I know, I'm not saying that he is, but I'm saying whatever the fuck's going on with his head is an equivalent to drunkenness if he survived.
Just gonna say this: if you see a white guy shave his head and his eyebrows, fucking run.
From the wreckage and immediately turned his attention to a woman
You see
driving
one of his
nearby,
eyes is a
and within
little
moments he had
askew,
forced
too.
his way into the vehicle and was behind the wheel once again, continuing this deranged driving spree until once again he crashed. And much like the initial collision, he survived, walking away unscathed before turning his attention to another random home. In pursuit of stealing his third vehicle, he grabbed a nearby concrete.
That was a stolen vehicle?
Yeah, he stole someone's car. He broke someone's house, stole their car keys, and then drove off.
I missed that part of the video.
Oh. He caused a
He caused the wind to blow away. Yeah, with how fast he was going.
Slab and began
a
to
wind
smash through the
demon.
home's doors, bloodying his hand in the process, before eventually making entry. Inside were a mother and her
Oh,
two
no.
children,
Oh, no.
one of which was 5 years old, and the other wasn't even a year.
Oh,
Gavin approached the
no.
terrified family, yelling and demanding that the mother give up her car keys, telling her that he was Jesus and that, because I am Jesus, I will kill you if you don't give me the keys. Without hesitation, he did as
Jesus
he
are
said.
you? No, where does he get his Jesus lore?
Jesus, what you doing? Jesus from South Park?
Oh my, even Jesus from South Park's now like, what the fuck Jesus are you? He's Jesus!
Gavin then went to each member of the family, and with his injured hand, he drew crosses on their forehead, out of his own blood, before taking off with his third stolen car.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Oh,
Once again, Gavin was driving manically, though this time he was even more reckless, crashing into a brick wall and then a cop car.
I have, this in brain because of America, they would have just shot his ass at this point.
Yeah, thank God. Oh, I'm glad that didn't go worse.
Before setting his sights
I can laugh at it
on
now.
a pedestrian.
Oh, yeah,
While speeding through a neighborhood, Gavin would see a man standing innocently near a bus stop, and for whatever reason, the sight of this man enraged him, causing Gavin to slam on the brakes and reverse the vehicle, stepping on the gas as hard as he could,
Oh,
and
shit.
crashing directly into him, leaving him lying there with devastating injuries. Gavin quickly exited the vehicle and found the man lying motionless on the ground, prompting him to shout, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." Minutes later, Gavin
You are... This is a new level of insanity. Wow.
Oh my, I want to know what part of the brain snaps that makes people do this. Like, I'm like questioning, like, what part of your brain just goes, think, now I need to kill everybody.
Or think that you're... I would say fictional character, but no, just think that you're...
Think you're a god.
Yeah. Okay.
would crash yet another car into yet another home, though this time the police weren't far behind.
the car! This way.
Damn.
Oh, get him out! Oh, die! Oh, get him out! Oh,
Yes.
no!
In Britain, I don't think the police can carry guns. That's what I'm saying. If he was in the States, this guy would have died probably long before this.
Yeah.
Do not move! Do not move! Get it up! Okay, now!
finally bringing his
cigarette.
disturbed driving spree to an end. The man that Gavin had struck was 87-year-old Terry Radford, a retired
no.
teacher whose injuries were catastrophic, with the man passing away soon after. According to his family, Terry was an incredible grandfather, father, and son. The footage is genuinely horrifying, but what's most shocking of all is the fact that any of this was even allowed to happen. As stated previously, this was Gavin's very first day out of prison, and based on the behavior he exhibited whilst in prison, he really should have never been released.
Just so you know.
This is Britain. This is Britain.
And we wonder why we separated from the crown years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god. Of course, this shit's going on here too. What am I talking about?
That's why we have Trump. That's why we got Trump.
That's why we have guns.
Trying to fix this. Needs to
Gavin
be
was granted an
fixed.
early release in March of 2019 for charges based around burglary, but just as he was set to be freed, it was discovered that he had submitted an adulterated drug test, which caused his case to be re-examined and resulted in his release being postponed. In response, Gavin lost his mind. Later that month, he assaulted a prison guard before spraying him with an unknown liquid that contained bleach, before proceeding to set his cell on fire and attacking another officer with a piece of wood. Due to his actions, Gavin was placed into an isolated cell, where less than a week later he started yet another fire, and when an officer entered his cell to put it out, Gavin
Who is letting him set fires? Who is giving him the materials to set fire?
He is Minecrafting his way into making fires. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. He is a demon.
struck them in the head and pulled out a plastic knife, threatening to slash him, stating that it would be a thrill to kill him. Gavin's stay in prison clearly hadn't rehabilitated him. In fact, it seemed to have made him more violent than ever before, and more
Let him
mentally
burn
disturbed.
himself.
Though shockingly, despite all of these additional crimes, Collins' release would go on to be approved less than 2 weeks.
No! Who the fuck's this judge needs to be fucking fired?
It's in Britain. They don't have rights anymore. Let's be
Oh
real.
no!
But
Hi, bot. I like the bot.
Later, with Gavin being set free on April 18th, and within just 24 hours, Terry Radford would be brutally killed. Gavin was sentenced to 21 years in prison, and during his trial it was
21 years.
For murder and...
Not killed. Not put out of his misery. 21 years.
And does he have parole?
I don't know how it works in Britain. Britain, yeah.
revealed that no drugs were found in his system, and instead this all seemed to be the result of some sort of psychotic episode that just so happened to be captured on camera in one of YouTube's darkest videos.
Does Britain have insane asylums?
I don't know. They probably got rid of them like here in the States. Well, I think we're going to end the stream here because I got snow. I got to go shovel.
And I got food to cook. I'm hungry.
You hungry?
Hungry, Mom. Yeah, he was possessed. Yeah, I agree. That's what I kept saying the whole stream. He was a demon.